is paused. Okay, yes, you can see me. Good evening. My name is Bernice Edubuahen. John mentioned my name wrong. I can pardon him for that because I get that a lot. I hope you can all hear me.
Yes, you are audible.
Great. All right, sure. So, as John rightly said, I am a current Chevening scholar with University of East Anglia. Yes,
Your name again, please.
Bernice Edubuahen.
Bernice.
Yes, it's Bernice.
Okay, okay. Noted.
My name should not be a problem. All right, sure. So I will just take you through the process quickly, and then if you have any questions, just jot it down. When I'm done, there'll be time for questioning. So you can just write your questions down. And I want to believe that we've all read from the Chevening website before coming, because if this is your first information, then I don't know what to say, because as a Chevening scholar you should be hungry for information, so you should have read even before coming here. So I will not be expecting some questions from you as a potential Chevening scholars. All right, sure. So let's just move on quickly. Let me share my screen. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, let me share this. If you're not able to see, just draw my attention. Please, can you see my screen? Please, can you see
Yes,
my
Yeah,
yes.
we
screen?
can see.
All right,
Yes, yes.
great. So, we have the Chevening Scholarship application, which has opened now. I believe you are aware. It opened August 2nd, and then the deadline is November 1st. So, I'll be taking you through what is expected of us as applicants, and the do's and the don'ts, and the recommendations. Yeah. So, just some quick overview. So, Chevening Scholarship is funded by the UK government, Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office and partner organization. It's a 1 year fully funded scholarship, masters only. And someone will say that what are the eligibility criteria? You should just have a degree. Yes, it doesn't matter the class, if it's lower, upper, first class. Chevening is not about class, it's about what you intend to bring on board, a goal for an action or a change. You should have a plan. That is what Chevening is about. So don't ask if I have first class, do I qualify, or if I have a lower. Chevening is looking for leaders, and leaders are not defined by their class. So yes, and the value of the award, it's full tuition. You have a flight round trip in and out. You have a monthly stipend that will cover accommodation and living expenses. You have departure allowance, arrival allowance. You have health insurance as well. And then there's a robust alumni network. That's the Chevening network, which you would love to be a part of because it will open you to numerous opportunities. Yeah. So quick to the school application. Chevening expect you to apply to 3 schools. At least by 14th July 2023, you should have at least one unconditional offer from the 3 schools. And these are some few tips I would want to give when you are checking for the schools. Check on Chevening website for the partner universities, because although it's open to all public universities, but Chevening has partners. It's easier for you to get an unconditional offer, and it's easier to communicate to them, especially when they are waiting on you to pay school deposit, and you tell them that you are a Chevening scholar awaiting your final award letter. It is easier for them to understand you than the schools that are not partners. So check on the Chevening website for the partner universities when you are applying to these schools. Also, research about your schools and courses carefully. Do not randomly just select schools or courses, and the school should not be about you, or the courses should not be about you. Some of us, or some of you applicants, would just want to choose a school because of the flex that comes with it, the ranking, the course, the what you. Chevening is not about that. The courses you are choosing should connect with your goal, your professional journey, your academic journey. The courses you learned in school, It all should come into play. So you have to be careful when researching about your school and courses. Someone may ask that, do I have to select same course or from the same university, or your courses should not be distinct from each other. One may want to choose one entrepreneurship, innovation, and technology, then the next course agriculture and development, then the next one business administration, and yet you do not have concrete reasons why you have these distinctive courses. You will score lower marks and you may not be awarded because there is no connection between the three schools and why you want to choose them, because you need to defend that in your essays. So choose similar courses. In my case, I wanted to do something on food security. There was one program I picked, food security. There was another one, agriculture and rural development, and there was another one that I chose, leadership for rural development, because my degree is geography and rural development, and professionally I have worked with rural farmers, so I was able to defend it. You see, these are not distinct. There is a story connecting all of them, so you'd have to be careful when you are choosing them. All right. As I mentioned, you have to make sure that the course you are choosing, the requirement, you be able to meet it by 14th July or even before, because you need an unconditional offer before your final award letter will be awarded to you. Great. And to the scholarship application tips before we move on to the main thing, you would have to read instructions carefully. Some of you, you are always in the haste to submit it first. You have like 3 months to prepare your application, to write your essays and everything. Take your time, read instructions carefully, fill the form correctly, because when you submit, you can't make the corrections. It's you can't even find the link. The links may not be working because of the traffic, and it's very, I don't know. The process is very draining. You may not want to put yourself in that situation. Yes. And avoid plagiarism. Avoid it at any cost. As a Chevening scholar, you are seen as a very, very important person, like a very serious person. So when they see that you have plagiarized somebody's essay, like you are not the person they are looking for, outrightly, they will not even continue with your essay. So you have to be very careful. Yes, and you make sure you have all necessary documents to support your application. If your passport it has expired, just work on it as soon as possible. Your transcript, apply from your school. Some of you, your schools, after your graduation, you have to wait for a whole period before you get your transcript. I don't know, but for KNUST, even the day you graduate, your transcript is ready. I don't know about other schools. Okay, so if your school, it takes a very long period for you to get your transcript. Apply now to avoid any disappointment, and then your degree certificate as well. Yes, and then you also want to work on your CV. Although Chevening will not ask you to attach a CV, you always write it in the form with your experiences and the year, because you would need to have at least 2 years working experience, 2 years working experience, including internships, including your national service. So on your CVs, when you are writing, don't write national service. National service is a job. It's a work experience. Write the position and then the company. Do not write the national service. National service is not a job title. It is a responsibility that every degree holder after school you go through. Is as your civic right or responsibility by the government. So you do not, it's your first working experience actually, because it's a 1 year. So you do not have to, when you're indicating it in Chevening, so you don't have to write national service. Write the job title and then the role you played as well. And if it's past, use past tense. Okay, and if it's present, use present tense. Do not be missing them. It has to be detailed. Great. Oh, sorry, I'm not done. And also, before you start with your application, think about a story, a problem you would want to solve before. It helps you flow. It helps your thoughts to flow. Okay, so some of you will just hop on it and just be answering the questions anyhow. It has to be a story, it has to connect. So let's just say you want to read law and you start jumping, writing something differently, so different it does not connect, and you see it just doesn't make it even nice to read. Okay, so if your story connects, if your idea connects, your motivation, your passion, everything runs through. We see that, oh, this is where it all started from. It is easier to grasp the whole concept that you want to put across and for them to know how achievable this idea is. Yeah, so you'd always have to note that. Yes. And then with the essays, for Chevening application, if you
Can
do
I
not
have a
know,
can I ask a question?
no, you can put your question down so that when I'm done,
Okay.
I can answer them. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Great. So, for Chevening scholarship application, the key thing is about the four essays. That makes the whole scholarship actually. The whole selection is mostly based on the essay. So if you hear that someone was not chosen or someone was put, it means that the essays were evaluated. And it's also based on the priority of the UK government in your home country, what the UK government is doing. So sometimes you may put across a fantastic essay, everything, but then unfortunately you will not be chosen. It's not because of anything you did wrong. It could be that what the UK government is sponsoring that year or the area they are looking at, the priority areas they are looking at to work on to sponsor scholars, yours to not fall part of that year. It may not be their priority that year. So it doesn't mean that you did something necessarily wrong. It could be from them. Yes. So these are the four essays. The I've just grouped them. One is the leadership and influence. The second one is the relationship building and shared learning, which is the networking. And then we have the third one being studying in the UK. Why do you want to study in the UK? That's what they mostly put it. And the fourth one is your career plan. And these ones, it's 500 words each. Somebody may say 500 words are a lot. Trust me. Sometimes you write and you don't even know which one to take off because it will be a lot. So as a leader, you also have to know how to summarize, how to put your words concise, succinct. You have to learn all this. Yeah, so I'll take my time and take them one on after the other so that you know exactly what is expected of you under each of the questions. So if you have any question, please put it down. I would answer every question you have. Yes. So we have the leadership influence, and this is how the question goes. It goes like, as you are aware, Chevening is the UK government international awards program aimed at developing global leaders. This section allows you to provide examples of your leadership skills and potential, and to describe how you would use your time in the UK to develop professionally and academically, build professional networks, and build lasting positive relationships with the UK. Please use examples to support your answers. All answers must be a minimum of 100 and a maximum of 500 words. Please do not write 100 words. Do not write 100 words and leave it. Make sure you meet your 500 words or at least 350 words is enough. Okay. So, as I have mentioned, the leadership and influence. Chevening is looking out for you to demonstrate clear examples of leadership and influence with concrete results. Some of us may have occupied positions. Okay, it's enough. The position you occupied, what did you do with it? What was your action? What was your role? And from your role, what was the impact of that role? What action did you take? What initiative did you take that you think that it is worth mentioning for Chevening to know that indeed you use this leadership trait of yours, there was an issue or there was a task, and this is the action you took, and this was the situation, and this was the results. So these things you always have to use the star approach. I will get there and explain deeper with the star approach. The situation. As a leader, you are always elected to solve something or to take care of something. So, what was the situation? What was the task? What was the action you took? What was the results of it? You always have to talk about I. With Chevening, you have to use certain words. Okay, you have to use some leadership words. I led, I initiated, I collaborated. you have to use these words. Be careful with your English, your grammar as well. So you always have to be proofreading, proofreading, proofreading. Yes, because I mean, every day as a leader, you would always want to change something until you say, well, this is enough. Yes. And use current and relevant examples. And it should connect. Some of you can use your SHS examples. That is when you do not have a lot of examples. And if you are using the SHS example, then it should be really worth it. It should be something that the resource was so huge, impactful. Okay, if not, you are done with school, you are working, and you go as far as SHS to go and use an example. That is probably when you do not have an example or you think this example is worth mentioning. Okay, so you can note them down. You can note the leadership roles that you have played or you have occupied. Then you select your top three based on the situation you have solved. You think you have the story, you have the task, you have the action you took. The results should be very clear. If there are numbers, mention them. Okay, so at least the leadership and influence, you have three examples you are going to give. Some could give two. Okay, because of using the star approach, sometimes you may write a lot. So, I mean, if it's your top two, you pick it. If it's three, you know how to work on that to bring the results. It should be clear. The issue that was there should be seen. The task or the task that was there should be seen. The situation should be seen. The action you took should be seen. The results, the impact of the action you took, it should also be seen clearly. That is exactly what we are looking for here. And do not just write about your leadership position, that I was a president of this. And so what? What did that position, what did you use it for? What was the results, the impact of it? And do not be going to define leadership. Trust me, the main thing they are looking for, you may not have even written it, and you are going around defining leadership. At the end of the day, your words will be more than 500. Okay, so although there's an introduction, try writing something like a preamble, something, and not necessarily defining leadership, because everybody will be defining, and you have to look at it. It's a competition this year. Last year, applicants were 60 million applicants, or 62. Yeah, if I've not forgotten, 60 million applicants, and it's a whole Commonwealth countries, and it's a competition like tough. And Ghana, you have less than 18 slots. So imagine the number of Ghanaians applying only for 18 slots. The 18 Benin, two Benins will be part. So like 16, let me put it that way. So imagine if you go and write something that even you yourself, you are not even convinced that even you, if you are supposed to award yourself, you will not award yourself. So if you see it as a competition, you will give out your best. Okay. Then the next one is relationship building and shared learning or networking. This part is very, very important for Chevening. Okay, Chevening is looking for individuals with strong professional relationship building skills who will engage with the Chevening community and influence and lead others in their chosen profession. Please explain how you build and maintain relationships in a professional capacity using clear examples of how you currently do this, and outline how you hope to use these skills in the future. So, with this, you could cast your mind back. What are some of the relationship or networks you've built? Okay, it could be just one person you met at a program, and together you've been able to create something. How have you been able to maintain that relationship? What was the impact? What has it now materialized into? Okay, somebody could say, I met John. I met John on a platform, on a WhatsApp platform. We decided to share an idea, and then he was like, "Oh, then you could get on with this for me." And today we are here. I am a resource person for him. And this is it. And we are creating impact. We are helping people. We are doing this webinar for people. The number of people are going to benefit from this. Yes. How did we maintain our relationship? We are always sharing ideas. If he's something that he wants my input on, I am ready to assist. Bring all this. You comment on his work. They want to know how you build it, how you have maintained it, and how it is going, so that they will know that you'll be able to use these. Please, if you are not on mute. If you could mute yourself.
Yeah, Bernice, please, the slide. We are not seeing the slides.
You are not.
It's,
So all that I've been saying, you've not been seeing it.
yes, you've not opened the slides yet.
Are you serious? I've opened it. I have
Really,
opened the
we
slides
are only
exactly.
seeing the folder.
Oh, that's too bad. Sure, let me just
Yeah, we are only
reshare
seeing the
again.
folder.
I have opened the slides, shared. Okay, entire screen. Okay, can you see now?
Yeah, it's okay now. You can see now.
I have actually gone past all this, and you didn't prompt me. Sorry about that. So this was the first. This was the opening slide. This was the slides I was talking about, the overview, the school application, scholarship application tips, and then the four S's. And I just finished talking about leadership influence, and I was here talking about relationship building and shared learning or networking. Yes. So Chevening expects you to use specific example of your own network. You could talk about how you created a page on Facebook, and through that you've been able to, you have this number of participants, and this is what you have been doing, and this is the results thereof. Maybe you've been creating webinars to create awareness on breast cancer, and this has been the number of participants you do it yearly, and through that you've been able to bring this person on board, this person on board, and together you've built this kind of network where you annually do this, and with the number of beneficiaries you mention them clear. How have you been in contact or touch with your mentors? You let us see it clearly, the impact thereof. Okay. For the networking is a little bit tricky because sometimes you get confused, because it has to be your own example as well. So this one as well, some people also talk about how they even landed their current jobs. It was through networking. Maybe they met this person at a fair, or they went for this boot camp, or they went for a fellowship program, they went for a conference. We spoke and he heard about my work. He recommended me to his boss, and then I sent him my application, went for interview, and I was handed a project, and this project developed into this, that. You see, it's always has to also be the star approach. It has to be clear. Let us see how you maintain the relationship, how you facilitated the network, how the network is still in place, like it's supposed to be current. We should know what is going on, and avoid generic description. You write, some people write like they talk, no pause, and at the end of the day, nothing. You can't pick anything from it. And mind you, you are going to defend this during your interview. So you may want to put clear examples so that it is easy for you. If not, you go and you find yourself wanting because you just be talking, talking, talking about everything. So this is it. There are a lot of videos online. You can always watch it to get more understanding. As a leader, you do not stop learning. You don't pick just one example and sit by. A lot of materials online. Even I had a webinar last year. It's online. I would probably share the link with you. You could go and watch that as well to enrich your experience and also get more questions answered. Yeah. And then the third essay is studying in the UK. So the question will go like, outline why you have selected your chosen three university courses and explain how this relates to your previous academic or professional experience and your plans for the future. Please do not duplicate the information you have entered on the work experience and education section of this form. So what this section is actually requesting for or looking out for is that let us know your three choices of school and the university in the order of priority. and have a distinctive paragraph, 3 paragraphs, talking about the school, your course, what exactly you are looking out for from each of the course, what attracted you, what is that key thing in that school or that program that you are looking for to develop, and how does it relate to your goals. Everything has to connect. That is how come it is very important to choose similar courses so that you can defend them, or same courses, and you should research well into the university, because there could be there is a research fellowship program there that you would want to benefit from, or maybe the research you intend to carry out, there is this person who is an expert in that field, there's this professor or this lecturer who is an expert in that field, and he only comes from that university, that you only find him, that person is just from that university, and he has mentored people. You could mention names if there is space for you to write, okay, so that we know that indeed you research. Do not write what everybody is writing, because when you go to the website, the information is there, everybody just picks something from there. What do you do different that makes you the leader? So there are a lot of website that talks about the school, which they've written something else that you could pick that is not on the website. You could go search about the university, the lecturers, the professors, their area of study, their area of research. They are all there. You may not find it immediately you open the school website. They are there. You have to research so that this information becomes unique to you alone, because others will just look at the website, school website, and just pick it. But you even know the timelines. You know that your course, your program, there is a part where you go for field work, there is a part where you can decide to do trips or intern with an organization. That you know all that because you read more. That is what they want to know. You went over and beyond. Some even go as far as mentioning professor's name. They've even been in touch with them already and they are looking forward to welcoming them. So that is what you're supposed to be writing. Don't come and write the same thing. The course models, they know. It's just there. The model, which of them appeals to you and why does it appeal to you? What are you looking forward to reading at university? Why have you selected it? How does it relate to your professional career goals or your academic goals? That is what they are looking for. Oh, sorry. So, yes, you have to give clear and coherent reasons for your school or program, and have 3 paragraphs to talk about that: first choice, second choice, third choice, and then end it beautifully. Always have a preamble, an intro, then you talk about the 3 paragraphs, then you end it. There's always has to be a conclusion, beautifully written. If not, you lose marks for copying information from the university website, because when they open it, it is the same thing that is there that you have written. It shows how unserious you are, how unprofessional you are, and nobody would want to go ahead with you because it's copy paste plagiarism. And Chevening scholars, you are not identified as one if this is seen. Yes, and you should always know that it's a competition. So make sure you write well. You may send it to other scholars to review for you and accept corrections. Sometimes it can be review like 30 times, and you're even tired, your brain is exhausted. Yes, because they want the best for you. And it's very competitive. If you look at it that way, you will do when you write well. Okay. Then the last part is your career plan. Chevening is looking for individuals who have a clear post-study career plan. Please outline your immediate plans upon returning home and your longer-term career goals. You may wish to consider how these relate to what the UK government is doing in your home country. Your career plan, you have to sit down and write it. You can put it as a short-term goal, medium-term goal, and a long-term goal. When you do it like that, it is time-bound, so you know exactly what will be realistic within those time frames. So you know what to put there. And then you always look at it with the SMART objective. You look at it, is this specific? Is this measurable? When we say measurable, are there metrics in there that we can measure? Like the number of people who are going to benefit from this, the number, it's measurable. It has to be like a figure that you want to be able to measure the impact of it. Is it achievable? Is it realistic? Is it time bound? So if you look at it that way, you'll be able to write a very convincing career plan. Most of us do not know what we want to become. Yes, that is very true because we've never thought about it. Somebody knows that at the long run, I want to be. I read somewhere the person said, I read an essay. I mean, I review a lot of essays. Someone said the long term goal, he wants to be a president. But throughout the essays, there's no way that says that he's even part of a parliament house, he's even part of a community based political group. And we all know that to be a president is not a joke. Okay, he hasn't even been a leader of anything. I mean, I know miracles happen, but I mean, how realistic is this? Okay, maybe if you say you want to be a president someday, we could see that you are an assembly member in your constituency, or you are part of a political group, or if you are independent candidate. I mean, there are some political conferences, associations, or activities that we've been in that we can see that, oh, this is possible because you've been this. I mean, there's a connection. But if you just say you want to be a president, my friend, what do you mean? Okay. Yes. So you it has to be clear, and you would have to read a lot when it comes to career plan, because whatever you have to write there, it has to be very convincing. Because when you go and you are being questioned at an interview and you just made things up, you find yourself wanting. Check on the dev tracker, the development tracker, what the UK projects that they are doing in Ghana, okay, and tailor it alongside your goals. Your goals should not be individualistic, it should be something that will benefit society. I mean, if you're an entrepreneur, perfect. What is the impact of it thereof? You are employing people. How many have you employed? Now that you think with Chevening, it will increase your impact, the network. People get to know about your work, increase your market for you. And then with this, you are promoting the Ghanaian culture, you are promoting made in Ghana, something. So in the next, the most challenging part has always been when you return from the UK, which is the first to 5 years or the first to the 3 years. Always Chevening is curious about what you intend to do right after you return, because you know that with Chevening you would always have to return right after your studies. You return back home. So with this, what do you intend to do? It has to be very realistic. Some of you, you may be lucky, you'll be granted study leave from your work. So you indicate that you return back to your position to be able to help them with this, that. The skills you learned, the skills you highlighted in your educational, why you want to study in the UK, the things you said you wanted to acquire. This is the time to write it here, that the skill that you acquired in this, that you intend to use it here in your field here, or this your work or position here to do this, that. Some of you always say that when you return, you want to form an NGO, although it is achievable, but I mean, you are time bound as well, and the time you give is what it will use to measure whatever you have written. So you always have to think about that carefully. It's always safe to say you return, but what if your job, you are not returning to it? Think about something. Some people says that when they return, they are interning, internship, or they are partnering with this organization who is into their field to assist them with this. I mean, it has to be very real. So here you have to read extensively about your the position you want, the impact you want to make, and check an organization that is doing something similar that you may want to partner with, or intern with, or work with as well. Okay, and give reasons for that. Then you go to your medium term goals. Will you still be there at your first, your short term goals? Are you still going to be there, or, and it has to be, Chevron wants you to be very ambitious. Your goal has to be ambitious enough, and it has to be realistic as well, so that they know that at least the investment they made in you, you are doing something with it in the society. So the medium term goals, you see some people write, I intend to occupy this position in government. Some to go as far as working with the African Union or the UN in a position that is connected to what they've studied. And they have also identified a problem there that they want to solve. So you write that. You give reasons. Some people even quote. I mean, you should read a lot. If you're going to work with the A, you should identify the problem there, and then what your the position you want to occupy, what it will be solving, the impact. Then they know that exactly you've really researched into your plan or your career goal. You know what you're saying. And then you always have to make a case. We have the long term goal as well. Your long term goal has to be like super ambitious, but it has to be realistic. Don't go right. You want to become the president of Ghana when you don't even have a party card. Okay, you have not done anything political activity, nothing, and you say you want to become the president of Ghana. Okay, it's ambitious, but we should know it should flow. I mean, it has to connect from your career goal to the last part, and throughout your essays, we should see some form of something like that. So the long term goal, you get people to say that they would want to work with the UN, World Health Organization. I mean, they talk about the international organizations, and they state specifically what they would want to do, the impact. Some also go as far as saying that they want to be doing PhD, and sometimes there's no clear connection of what that PhD will do, the impact of that PhD. They are not able to give a concrete reason why they would want that PhD, because a lot of people, it seems to be the easy way around it. I want to do PhD. Me, I never wrote anywhere that I want to do PhD. Although it is nice, but what would that PhD do? In what field? In what research? If it's in your area and you have a clear research plan that you think if this is undertaking, the results published, something would come out of it, then let us know. But at the long term goal is sometimes 10 years after 10 years after Chevening. So you have to think about something realistic, something ambitious. Where do you see yourself in the next 10 years? You'll be asked when you go for the interview. Okay, so you'd have to think about this thoroughly. Read a lot about your plans and goal, the problem you want to solve. It will help you come up with a clear plan and exactly what the position you would want. Myself, I went as far as mentioning a position in Ghana's government, not like Ghana's government, like organization in Ghana, and the position, the exact position I want. Because I know with that position, I'll be able to influence policies concerning this, that, that. I mentioned everything because I read extensively on that, and I knew that would be the perfect thing to say. And when I went for interview, I defended it. So that is, you have to read a lot. This part, give your best shot. You are ending your essay, do it in style. It's a time to be creative, to be smart. All right, great. So, some recommendations, always use the STAR approach. Always. The situation, the task, the approach or the action you took, and the results. Always use the STAR approach in all. So, you know that if we are not identifying the situation, the task, the action, the results in there, it means you're not doing something right. Always highlight on numbers. If there was a number, highlight it. Maybe you're able to when you occupy the position or when you work with the team or something, maybe the company's cost or revenue increased from 25% to 45% in a period of this. You mention it. Maybe the company's cost operation, something went low from this. Always use numbers. It helps us to imagine the impact, and avoid using we. Here, Stephanie, you have to be selfish. I highlight on what you did. It's about you. I initiated, I partnered with, I collaborated with, I advocated for. And you always have to read as a leader. That is what Stephanie is about. You are seen as a global leader. Read, read, read. Review your work. Speak to a lot of mentors as you can as possible. If it means you have to pay for someone to review your work, pay. Ghanaians do not like taking risk at all. I mean, people have applied for Chevening 4 times. They never gave up. Do you know the investment? Some schools you have to pay application fee. So imagine all the three schools you are choosing, you have to pay application fee and not less than 500 Ghana cedis. It's an investment. If you want to go far, these are some of the risks you take. And avoid last minute application. Avoid last minute application. And make sure you read extensively, read other materials on Chevening, read a lot about these applications, and you do well. Yeah. So good luck and all the best. I am opening for questions. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, the floor is opened. Anybody that has a question, feel free to ask.
In your submission, you talk about CV.
Yeah.
You said the team will not request for a CV.
Hmm.
So, in terms of work experience and other things, you have to put it in application. So, for instance, if you have worked for a period of, let's say, 11 years in different capacities, are you to put in all those experiences there?
Yes, that depends on you. You may want to pick the ones that are relevant to the application. Yes. So if not, Chevening wants 2 years experience, working experience. So if your work, you think that maybe your 11 years experience, it could be at one firm or maybe it could be two or three firms, and you have enough time to put all the Chevening allows you to put. I think there's a limit. You can put as much as 5 or 6. There's a limit there on the form. Yes, but if you think if you put four there and it meets the 2 years and more, it's okay. And make sure you prioritize them, the mostly ones that are relevant to the application. If you have like extensive work experience, you may want to prioritize the ones that are relevant to the application, especially the field where you are applying to.
Thank you very much.
Right. Any other? Oh, I may stop sharing. Then it be.
And then you also talk about, I want to add another question.
Yeah, feel free.
You also talk about the areas that they are looking for this year. So sometimes you have a compelling or solid essay, but maybe it is not in tandem with the areas they are looking for this year. So what are you going to do? How will you know the areas, what they are, the project that they are pursuing this year in Ghana?
Yes, so you'd have to check from the Dev Tracker website. Let me just quickly. I mentioned it. You would have to search what the UK government is doing in Ghana. There is a site for it. If I remember, John, you remember the site? It's Dev Tracker. Let me just Google it right now.
Yeah, you
I
can
hope I'm
Google
not
it.
sharing my.
Just Google what the
Yeah,
UK
you just
government is
Google
doing in
it,
Ghana.
and
Yes,
then
you
what
can
the
Google it.
UK government is doing in Ghana. Yes, there's a lot like that, and then you can just yeah, that is what Chevening is about. It helps you have to dig for information.
Mhm.
You have to dig for information.
Okay. Yes.
So you'd have to
And
look for it when you Google. It
Okay.
will be there. I'm trying to see if I can get a website for you. Yes, the Dev Tracker FCDO. Yes, country by country.
and one thing too I would like to add is that try as much as possible to link your career plan to what the UK government is doing, what you want to achieve in your country. Try and link it to what the UK government is doing. Not
Okay.
necessarily pointing out exactly what they are doing, but there are
Yes,
so
like
many
how
ways
it connects exactly.
you can connect to what the UK government is doing in your country. So that one is doable.
Okay.
Yes, I've sent the link to the chat, so you could go there and then look out for it as well, so that you'll be able to connect it with your
Thank you very
estates.
much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Well, we are not getting a lot of questions. It means that everything was clear then. Yeah, we are opening for more questions, and we've done well to finish everything in 1 hour.
My final question, please.
Yeah, it looks like we came for you today.
Not really.
All right, no problem.
My final question. My final question.
So, yeah, so,
I won't come back again.
oh, if you say so, we don't mind.
Um, about the research, the school.
Mm-hmm.
You recommend that we should actually select schools from the eligible schools, achieving
Yeah, partner universities.
partner universities.
Mm-hmm.
So in a case where you already had um, admission from a school, I don't know whether that school, University of York, I don't know whether they are partner university, but I'll
Yeah,
check.
it's part. I think, yeah, one of the scholars is going the University of York. Yeah, it's part. Yeah, you could just
Or
simply check. It's almost all the public schools are partner universities. Almost. That's what I'm using the word
oh,
all. So yeah, you could just easily check from the website to check if your school is a partner. That's all. Almost all the schools. Yeah.
so you are saying we should select a school that meets our career goal or the course.
But what influenced you to choose a school? What are some of the things you look out for before you choose a school? Of course.
Oh, sometimes would be for me the I mean they have good lecturers, um,
Okay.
so the environment, then the
Hmm.
facilities, the learning facilities, environment, and then the quality of teaching, learning. Yeah.
But how do you evaluate your quality of teaching when you have not experienced it?
Oh well, um, our research it depends on the rankings.
Well,
Some of the
rankings are very deceptive because rankings are based on a number of factors. So
yeah.
mostly think about your course, your career
Mhm,
plans, and then you look out for the courses. The
mm,
universities will come out, universities that offers this. Then you may want to check the models, the course models, check the school
mhm,
facility, check in with Chevening website to see if it's a partner university. And if these things meet your the things you have listed, then you choose them.
okay.
Yeah, because for UK, regardless of the school you choose, everything UK is top notch. I mean, world
Yeah.
class education. Yeah, so mostly don't worry so much about ranks. Okay,
Okay.
look out for the things that will build you. If they are there, you just go
Okay.
in for it. Because after all, when you get it, the school pays half. The school pays some percentage of the tuition, and then Chevening also pays some percentage of the tuition. In a case where they do not agree to pay, you'll be asked to choose your next option and all that. So the ranking are not really very important. Just look over the things that will help you write well. Because if everybody writes about rank, everybody will talk about rank. What is that different thing that attracted you to the school? How will this help you achieve your plans, the objectives you have written to Chevening? These are the things you would want to look out for. Yeah,
Thank you.
awesome. Yes, any more questions for us?
Then let me
Emmanuel
add
Boy.
let me add this with the schools.
Mhm,
Um, well, if you get the partner schools, that's also fine. But if you don't get the partner schools, you can still apply to any of the schools, Chevening will take charge of that. But the only good thing about the partner schools is that, like Bernice said, the institution take
My name
part
is
of
making
the
you
fees.
laugh. Interesting.
The institution takes part of the fees. It's like they bear part of the cost, and Chevening also bear part of the cost. But with the partner institutions, that one, Chevening has to bear all the cost. So not necessarily choosing from the partner schools. You can choose from both partner schools and partner schools, and you are good to go.
Okay. But they
Just
also talk
read
about
well,
this
just research well as
this
well.
cap of 22,000 pounds. That the school that you are
Uh,
choosing, fees cap should be within 22,000 pounds.
oh yes, mostly they mentioned that, but universities always, review their fees. International fees are always high. I don't know where you saw £2,000. Yes, but Chevening always partner universities. The university would always pay a part, and Chevening will pay a part, so
Oh,
that
okay.
should not be a problem. Yes. So just that is why those things are there to guide you when you are choosing your schools. And sometimes when the fees are high and they are partner universities, you are good to go. Okay? Because the school will take a part of the cost, and then Chevening will also take a part. And don't be going in because of rank is nothing. Sometimes it may probably only be good on your CV or something, but to you, how will you prove it? How will you defend it? So that it will not just be about rank, because Chevening will not just take you because of a rank, because you are not chosen because of your class, first class or second class. It was about the goal, your passion for change, your story, what you want to impact in your home country, the change you want to create. So this should guide you.
Okay, do we have any more questions? If we don't have any more questions, then we will bring it to an end. Do you have anyone with any other question? Or you want something to be clarified to you? Okay, so if there is nothing like that, then we'll bring our webinar to an end. Madam Bernice, we are glad to
This
have you.
Bernice is
Thank
nice.
you.
Sure, thank you for having me as well, Amani.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. But you've never
Mr. John,
pronounced your name to me before. Hello,
Yes.
yes.
Mr. John, I believe you will send the recordings to the so that
Yes,
we can
yes,
discuss it
yes,
later.
yes, yes, yes. I'll do that. I'll send the recordings to the page and also get the slides from here
Okay,
and add it. I'll post on the page.
okay. We'll be grateful.
So what you can do is that you may want to okay, no problem. You could have just created a folder, and then they can give your they can give their emails out, then you just share, so they could just go in there. You can send them the link to the drive, so that they can always go have a look at it anytime. But
Yeah,
I mean, you
exactly what I'll.
anything that would make it easier for them to get access to it. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, yeah, I'll do that.
All right, sure, great. Thank you for having me. I would leave so that John would wrap up with you. Okay. I mean, if I leave, it means I'm ending the recording. So, John, I'm
Oh,
making you the admin or
okay,
something.
okay, okay, okay,
I don't know how to do that. I think you can still if I leave, you become the host automatically. So,
okay, sure.
all right, great. Let me stop recording.